Hello, students, and welcome to our introduction class to Python coding. Now, if you've never written code before, and this is your first time experiencing the concept, well, you're welcome. I'll be trying in this class to introduce you to the basic simplicities of Python programming. At this starting point, the first things you need to ensure you have is a laptop. Of course, that goes without saying. You need a laptop or a computer of recent specification in order to be able to do and attain the things that will be useful in your progress in this coding journey. Now, I will be introducing you to the first piece of your coding, which is simple. The first piece of coding we are going to be looking at is going to be the print command. The print command. The print command. Don't mind my writing. The print command. Yes, in other words, you can always just type the word print. The print command. Okay, let's make that redder. Okay, that's the wrong spelling. The print command. Now, what is the print command and what does it have to do with Python? As I said, there are some things that you need in order to write code at all. The first thing, which we've talked about, is you need a laptop of what? Of recent specification. A laptop of recent specification. You also need to install some programs on your laptop. So when you have gotten your laptop, the following programs must be installed. Number one, you need an IDE. For IDE means Independent Development Environment or Integrated Development Environment. So this is a place where you'll be writing your code and running your code. But when your code wants to run in the background, it's going to need some very interesting things to run. Your code is going to need the Python program installed. So you can get that online. You just go to Google, type the word Python, and then your code is installed. An example of an IDE you can use, there are so many of them. I will talk about the simplest ones. For example, we have Sublime, very simple one. We have Tray, very nice one too, which comes with AI, and some other things like that. So with this Python installation and the Sublime or Tray, you are ready for your experience of coding. Now, I'm going to be using the coding platform inside our teaching platform, which is the Codex Ophidian. We'll be typing some codes. I'll be showing you all the tools we have in Codex Ophidian for writing code. To make you comfortable, you can choose whichever one of them just works for you. Run your code and that works. Is that clear? So the simplest command in Python, as I said, is the print command. The print command simply gives you the most basic and outstandingly ordinary effect in Python. It's an output program. If you print anything, Python simply gives you the output of that print. We are going to be looking at some things to see how print works basically in its own thing. So let's go to our platform. This is our platform. As you can see, we have everything you need to learn coding here. We have the code editor, the code studio, and the HTML editor. These three represent the zenith of coding currently that you will need. Okay? The code editor is your standard code editor, in which we have your coding can be written in the most simple and straightforward way possible. This is our code editor. This is where we write the Python code, and this is where the output comes out. Now we'll be looking at the print command, and I will sim. So this is like an IDE, but this is the IDE on the platform. You can decide to be using the platform IDE, or you can decide to use your own IDE on your system. If you log into the platform, you have access to the three IDEs I talked about. Let's talk of them again. We have the Code Studio, the Code Editor, and the HTML Editor. Okay? All right. So if we want to use the print command, we write it in the Python way. Print, and let's say I want to print something. I will put a bracket in front of print. As you can see, I wrote print, and I'm putting two brackets. Inside the brackets, I put two quotations. Whatever I want Python to output for me as a word, I will write it in between those two quotations. For example, I can say, welcome to the first day of Python. So if I just click the run command, as you can see, the system is prepping, and I want to run the code. You can see now, run code. What did it give me? Welcome to the first day of Python. Because that is exactly what I wanted it to give me. Remember, whatever you type inside the brackets in front of print, and whatever you type inside the quotation, not just inside the bracket, whatever you type inside the quotation, are you getting me, in front of the print, inside the bracket, will give you back exactly what is there. Probably with some adjustment, because we have some ways we can format our outcomes. We'll be looking at that in a few minutes. But basically, this covers our code structure. So let us go to the second line and look at something else, like print. This time around, we write something interesting. 5 plus 6. You can see here, we did not use quotation. Yes, because we want the print to process. If you put what you are typing inside print in quotation, print will not process it. But if you put what you are typing without quotation, your print command will process it. It will give you a Python complaint if it doesn't work for it. And if it works for it, then good. It will go ahead and give you an outcome. So let us run the second one. Oh, you can see it gave us 11. Now, if you are watching this on YouTube, the only way you can take advantage of our platform is to register with us at Codex Ophidian. All right, Codex Ophidian. Our phone number is 081-3662-8035. For those of you accessing us on YouTube, and for those of you who are students already, well, enjoy the class. So as you can see, that is the way. The first printout now gives us welcome to the first day of Python, because we have embedded whatever we are writing inside the quotation. And on the second one, because we did not embed it inside the quotation, it recognizes 5 as 5 and 6 as 6 and plus as plus. So it runs the program of addition and gives you 11. This is why we see 11 in this place. This is basically and simply all about Python. Now, this leads us to something more interesting, which we are going to call data types. So let's go back to our board. We're going to clear the board now as we begin to work on our data types. Now, there are many things that we could work around the data types. There are many effects we could generate with our data types. There are many outcomes we could generate with our data types. Okay? All right. So now, the first outcome we'll be looking at in this data type, I'm reloading my whiteboard like that, is to understand what a data type is at all. First things first. In Python, a data type is what we would call a structure of information. A data type is what? A structure of what? Information. That's what a data type really is, a structure of information. So what do we do with this information structure? Now, the information structure in question, I'm trying to erase this and they're not going, but let's leave it. It doesn't affect us. The information structure is basically all about what do we want to do. Is that clear? Okay, you can always delete this. Okay, so what do we want to do? Now, this information, this is about what goes into the Python program. How do we interact with it? And what are the protocols we use to interact with it? How do we give it something from our environment? And the methods we can use to give it things are what we call data. There are many data types. And as I begin to understand the data types, you will get an idea of what we are trying to see. Let's first go back to our board, to our code editor. You can see the first place, when we put it in there, Python gave us exactly what we put. That's a data type. The second one, when we put it in there, it also gave us exactly what we put. That's another data type. Is that clear? Now, both data types have different names. So to work with Python, we work with the data types. So our question we have to ask ourselves is, how are we going to go about working with these data types? Okay. There are many types of data. I'll put it that way. There are many types of data. And we're going to be listing some of the more interesting ones that we're going to work with. The first and simplest one is called the string. The string. This is simply data that is embedded within quotation marks. Hello, hi. You can see the LOI is embedded within a quotation mark, and that in itself is called a string. The next one we have is integer. These are numbers that do not have decimal place, like 5, 7, 456, 6, 7, 8, 4, 5. And these four numbers are all integers because they have no decimal place. When a number has a decimal place, in Python we call it float. Float is simply what? A number with as long a decimal place as possible. It doesn't matter. It's a float. For example, instead of 5, we can have 5.87. That's a float. Instead of 7, we can have 7.34. That's a float. And so on. These are examples of numbers that have decimal places and they are also called floats. Also, 456.0 is also a float. Even though it's exactly numerically weighted equal to 456. The size of 456.0 is the same thing as the size of 456, but the type of data that 456.0 is different from the type of data that 456 is. Let us go down again. The next data type we have is called non-type. Non-type. This is what happens when the Python program does not have anything to write, and it is written with capital N, or when the other programs write none with small n, but Python will not recognize your none as a nullifier if you put small n. So in Python, the nullifier is capital N, O, N, E, or the rest are small. So that's how you know the nullifier. It is what comes out of an empty interaction of code, or when the code interaction happens and nothing comes out of it, then the system has to put something there, and it puts a nullifier, which is your non-data type. All right? Okay. Now, apart from the non-type, we have what we call Boolean. Boolean. The Boolean is basically from Boolean algebra, and in Boolean algebra we know that we have on, off, true, false, yin, yang, high, low, right, left. All those things are called Boolean algebra, Boolean values. In Python, Boolean interaction or Boolean algebraic representation is done using true as the up, I, right representation, and on also, and false as the down, off, dark, null representation. So as you can see, that is Boolean. So if you write true in Python with capital T and the rest RUE small, Python recognizes it as a Boolean operator. If you write false with capital F and the ALSE all small, Python also recognizes it as a what? As a Boolean operator. This is the truth about the Python structure. Is that clear? All right. Now, we are going to go further to the next data type, which normally is the last one we always deal with, and that one is called the byte. This is the structure in which data is stored in the computer memory, and it's simply a string with a number with the alphabet B in front of it. Simple. So if I write B and hello in this format, B followed by a quotation, hello, and close quotation, that's BLO is a byte. So we can see we have string, integer, float, non-type, Boolean, and bytes. Now what we are going to do is we are going to go now to our code editor and check out if there is something we can use, to recognize these data types in Python. And yes, there is. That thing is called the type command. It is called what? The type command. Type command. Type command. And how is it written? In Python, inside your code editor, you simply write, for example, if you want to print the type of a data, you have print, then inside you have type, and inside the type bracket, you write your command like hi. This is a string. If we take this and put it and run it, it will tell us that it is a string. The type command, we use the print to output it, but normally once you have type and you have your brackets and you have anything inside it, quotation or no quotation, like that, it tells us the type it is. For example, you can have type hi, you can have type true like that, and it will tell you exactly what it is. Is that clear? Okay. So these are the data types that we use in Python. Very interesting things, very nice outcomes. All right, so we'll be testing some of this. So we use the print command to see the output. Once you have type and you embed the data type inside the bracket in front of type, it already originates the answer. But you cannot see the answer unless you run a print command, which is an outputter. The print command now forces the type command to output its state. Is that clear? And that tells us what that thing is. So we are going to take the one we wrote here, print type hi. And we know hi is a string from our description of strings. But let's go try it in our code editor and see. Let's clear our code editor and see what comes out of it. Okay, print type hi. What did we see there? If you look here, you will see it has given you class string. Class string. By going to this class, you can use it exactly the way I'm using it and enjoy your class. So you can see, what do we have? Type string. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so let's try to do something else. Print. You can see I've opened brackets. Inside the brackets, I open and close brackets. Inside the brackets, I have type. I open and close brackets. Inside there, I write 5. Now let me run my code. Oh, you can see it's telling me the first one, hi, with quotation is string. The second one, 5, is an integer. Okay? All right. So this is where I'm going to stop for this class. And I'm going to give you a classwork. Are you getting me? That you're going to work on. The classwork simply states that you should generate data for the remaining data types, apply the type command, and then let's see what it will give us. So you write a program that will do that. That will give us with different examples of data. At least I expect 20 examples of data, at least 3 for each data type. Or some of them, since it's just true and false, and the other one that is just none. And so you can add the remaining from the float, the integer, and the string. Exactly, to balance up your 20. All right. So I will see you in the next class. You do your assignments, and then we can progress to our next topic. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have been your instructor.